Yo, how are you doing? We are back, the Space Jockey guys. This is our regular takeover on a Monday morning. Well, it is a it is a Monday morning for you probably in America, but everywhere else that should be like evening, afternoon, in the middle of the night, or luckily we are pretty global here at What About It. So hi everybody, and this is Sabi, and I've got David here on the other end of the microphone. How are you, David?
Hello, checking in. So, hello everyone. Yeah, we are back again as always, almost always, and it's good to be back as always.
Let's be the motto of today is always.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Before we start, definitely let me tell you a couple of things. Well, first of all, if you have any questions or if you have anything to add to our conversation, please do so in the chat. Just tell us anything you want. If you have any questions, please just write it there. And also, this is the 24/7 stream you can see right now. This is you can watch Starbase anytime now. There are three cameras set up over there, so it's getting nicer. More and more stuff can be captured this way. So this definitely bookmark to your browser. And in today's show, we definitely gonna talk about Starbase, Starship, Booster 18, the failure of the booster, and where can SpaceX go from here after this new setback. Also, a couple of stuff related to Starbase, and then we're gonna steer our way towards Blue Origin. They've got a couple of new announcements on top of the successful second flight of the New Glenn rocket. And we're going to end our show with the new news related to the Shenzhou spacecraft that's heading towards the Chinese space station. But before all that, I share you three photos. One of them is this photograph here. This is a pretty cool photograph taken by Himawari 9. It's a Japanese, I think I should have known, but I think it's a probe that was taking photos of Earth. And the beauty of it is that you can see the moon rise distorted by Earth
Sorry to
atmosphere.
interrupt. It's a weather satellite.
Weather satellite, thank you. Yeah. I just prepared myself with the photo, but not with the information background.
That's why I'm
Uh
here.
yes, thank you. So this is a close up and this is from a further away shot, and it looks just nice. This is how the atmosphere sort of acting like a lens and distorting the moon. Obviously, once it clears the horizon, then it's a beautiful view. The other photo, what I brought you, these are kind of eye candies, and this is a photo from Charlene Giroux. She's a French photographer living in the UK, precisely in Oxford, and she's regularly taking photos of the International Space Station. And for the first time, she captured on her photos the new HTV X1 Japanese cargo spacecraft. It's docked to the Earth-facing port of the Harmony module, and it's just a pretty view. So I just thought I'm gonna share it with you because there are some crazy people out there who's taking photos of the International Space Station like I do, or like a fellow crazy others out there. So I hope you're gonna appreciate this photo. So I think without further ado, let's begin with our first topic. Starship booster. Not
Oh,
happy.
yes.
Not happy
Yes.
stuff.
It's not a planned topic, but since it happened, then we have to talk about it. So, yeah, we should play in the sad noises.
Yes, indeed.
Sad noises gif. Yeah, so it started as a normal test campaign. So, and it's important because that's pretty new, or the very new booster, very first booster of the new generation. So the V3 or block free generation, and it hasn't started quite well. So as always, they started with an ambient pressure test at the Messi's test site or Messi's outpost, and it just popped out a couple of hours later after the beginning of the test, and it's hard to find the words for it because on one hand we don't know the exact and official statement of these failures, so we don't know the reason behind. Most of the people think that it was a COPV failure again, so it blew up, and that caused the loss of the booster. Because as you all know, or as all of you can see, it's it won't be reusable anymore. So it's totally lost, unfortunately. So since then, they went there. I mean, the mechanic guys and other stuff, and they just quite destacked, or how to say, they just cut them in bigger pieces. But yeah, just look at the photo. So it's quite a disaster. Unfortunately, it happened.
Pretty much.
But still, the SpaceX guys are quite lucky, if I can say that, because if it happens during a cryo test, or even worse, during a static fire, then the damage could have been even bigger. So that's the only one positive thing all about these happenings. But yeah, because as it seems, the booster stood still quite until the mechanics went there could go there. So, and yeah, there are some reasons behind how it could withstand in quite one piece. But yeah, we can see more pieces on the floor, of course. But anyway, if it if we are thinking on the previous failures, all of the not the boosters, but rather the ships either collapsed or they just blew up. But this time the booster um, somehow saved itself, or how to say. But anyway, it's quite a lucky thing, because the Messi's outpost is still under reconstruction after the ship 36 blew up back to June, as you can see on this photo. And so they are still not ready with the reconstruction. However, this failure happened again. So we can think about what could have been happen, what could have happened.
I pretty much share Fergex 12. I think, I'm sorry if I really hammer your name. I get the whole break and stuff and iterate fast thing, but we are at V3 now, so this is the version 3, the third generation right now. Simple structural failures like these should not be happening at this point of the process. And I absolutely share this view. So we're gonna dive in. I mean, as much as we know, or as much as is publicly known right now, that what exactly the cause might have been. And by the way, I have to say that somebody else was saying, yeah, Congo Bongo 2009 is saying Scott Manley used your site's pictures to explain the booster 18 failure. Nice job. What about it? Yes, indeed. That was taken by Jordan Gerdy. And yeah, it's unreal. I mean, okay, so these are some COPVs hanging in there. So
Yeah,
probably they remain there for us to actually helping us explain what went wrong.
yeah, there
Because
is one more.
yeah, because at the moment it seems like it's a COPV again.
Yeah.
And just to okay, so just to continue, this is here a hole. You can
Mhm.
see. And according to Mr. Scott Manley, and who am I to argue with him? So he is highlighting there that hole. He is speculating, or he said he's leaning more towards to that explanation that it's the COPV, because when the COPV explodes, it can send pieces with such velocity that it punches a hole on the downcomer. Um, and I think if it's just the welding went sort of off or not doing its job, then probably that's a different story, and there is no damage on the downcomer, right?
Yes, so if it would have been a structural failure, for example, a welding failure, then the outcome should have been entirely different. But
Hmm.
as as you mentioned, Sabi, and as the really real guys who are into this topic, because we are not experts, as we all the time mentioning, so we're just speculating. But the guys, for example, Scott Manley, who is in the whose job was that actually, he knows much better than us, and we can trust him 100% sure, or almost 100% sure. And yeah, the signs show towards then that it was a COPV blow up. And the strange thing behind this, that after the ship 36 failure, the same happened actually. So that was the COPV failure as that time. And after the blow up, so the SpaceX as a whole team promised that, okay, that was the last time, it won't happen again. We changed our process. We changed um, uh, our every steps behind the checking points and everything. So and now it happened again. So, and as you mentioned always, already, that it shouldn't have happened, but it happened. And now the question is, what how long will be this setback? Because there is currently no more booster in the stock to change place with the booster 18, that uh, as back to the V2 versions, that when I don't know, SpaceX had 3 or 4 boosters at one time in the stock, so they could change it. They could have changed it if it was needed. But currently the booster 19 is still under construction, way under construction. And it was quite quite funny, or yeah, maybe a bit strange commitment, or ex post from SpaceX. So that's the official statement, that the new booster, I mean the booster 19, will be ready, or will be stacked in 3 weeks. Again, in 3 weeks, so still this year. However, it has, I don't know, 3 or 4 pieces. Yeah, 3 pieces, and it's quite fresh diagram, so you can see the date. It's from the November of 21st. So yeah, booster rating gone. Bye bye. So it's quite. I mean, the booster 19 is very in the early phase of the construction. So it's it's quite unbelievable how the SpaceX can think, or SpaceX thinks it will be ready in 3 weeks. So, and yeah, the record was 3 months again. So instead of 3 weeks, it was 3 months. Back to the booster 17, that was the quickest booster which was constructed and tested first. 3 months again. And
Um,
now they want to finish it and start the test campaign in 3 weeks with the new booster. So it's quite, for me, it's a bit unbelievable, and a bit how I don't know what word shall I use?
Optimistic.
Maybe,
Yeah,
yeah,
over optimistic.
over optimistic. Yeah, that's the correct
Hmm.
word. Yeah.
I to be honest, so okay, so first of all, just to say some nice things, I can imagine that they can speed up somewhat the
Hmm.
process by actually having the knowledge already how to build a booster. I mean, they have built boosters before, but this is the third generation, right?
Yeah.
So maybe the first one is the one that requires the most care, the most attention, and probably because of because they've done this already once, probably they can speed up the process somehow. However, I have to say that 3 weeks is still super duper ambitious. And
Yeah, there is a way, but continue and then I will take
yeah,
it up.
but I have to say that I am extremely frustrated and disappointed because so we had the two amazing flights with Flight 10 and Flight 11, and we knew that okay, if there's a generation change, for sure they are going to hit some sort of um, challenges. But having a COPV failure, I mean, the quality control is absolutely to blame for this. I mean, this cannot happen. This is such a stupid failure, and I'm sorry to say that, but this is just a stupid failure because it seems like if it really is the COPV, then it means that structurally, most likely the the booster itself, it's gonna do well. But now this is such a setback. Even if they finish in 3 weeks, they already trying to catch their own tails again. They are gonna be late with the PAT test, the PAT 2 test, the fit checks, the first tankings. So it's not just holding back the production of the boosters, but it's dragging the test of the opportunity for testing PAT 2 as well. So it's slowing everything down right now. And this was, if it's the third booster and they have some sort of issue, I get it. Yeah, it happens. But this is the first B3 booster at the first test. And boom,
Mhm.
it just happens. And this is so unfortunate.
And
So unfortunate.
one more thing to add, that it has quite a big effect every booster down the line. So
Yeah.
of course we don't know the plans for the future flights, but yeah, let's say if they wanted to catch this booster at the very first attempt, then it means that the first one will be the booster 19, or maybe if it wasn't either at all, that they wanted to catch the booster at on the first flight, then it means the booster 20 will be the first one with the catch attempt, if any. So maybe that's the bigger problem, again, that it has more effect for the future boosters as well. But on the other hand, as you mentioned, Sabi, maybe they could ramp up the production or the manufacturing of the booster 19 and of course the later boosters, if they because currently they have, if I'm correct, and as far as I know, they have one welding robot in the Mega Bay 1 and one robot in the Mega Bay 2. So maybe they could share the the um, the different workstations and work processes. For example, in the Mega Bay 1, they could weld the oxygen tank structure. In the Mega Bay 2, they could construct the methane tank section. And if they are ready, or after they are ready, they can just stack it together in the Mega Bay 1. So maybe they could ramp up the whole production like that, but because until the ship test article, I mean the S39.1, has not any test data, they don't want to start stacking of the ships because it would be unnecessary or not so wise. Because if they have some structural problems, then why to build so many ships, and after it turns out that they have a structural problems, then they could just throw up 3 or 4 ships, for example. So just I wanted to say that they have capacity in the Megabay to take some booster working processes that in that workstations.
Mhm.
Because otherwise, if they use the Mega Bay 1 only, it's almost unreal that they will be finishing in 3 weeks with the whole booster.
I can see that there is some debate in the chat about the COPVs, Uh, yeah, somebody just pointed out quite rightly that so far SpaceX has lost four rockets, COPVs.
That's right.
Yeah, so that was CRS-7.
Yes.
Okay, and then they had the what was it? Doesn't come to my mind. What was that mission that blew up on the pad?
Amos 6.
Amos 6, thank you. And then obviously ship 36, and now this time around. Um, Somebody was asking if
Yeah, they
anybody
are
is
not
ordering
friendly
it
with
from China.
COPVs.
Uh, yeah, so this is totally unacceptable. And yeah, a couple of people are pointing out that this is such a good thing, just as you were saying that this happened right now, not when it's fully fueled or not later on when they're flying. But again, I mean, for me, it's unbelievable because this is now COPV is massively sabotaging this whole program, and this is not it's not even them. They are not even making the COPVs. They are buying it,
Yeah.
and the problem is it's just one tiny mistake. Somebody just knocks the COPV, not dropping, but they just not handling carefully, and then that's it. The damage is done, and there's no way to find out exactly if a COPV has any problems until you start pressurizing them. Very sad, very sad,
Yeah.
because every single time, at least in 2025, when we think that okay, finally now we are in good terms and we can proceed, then something happens. And then they do everything to correct it. They try to find the solution. And then we hopeful again. And then something else happens again and again and again and again.
Yeah. So, and the other point that what was the in this SpaceX post as well, that they are quite sure that they can have the flight, or they can launch the flight 12 still in first quarter of 2026, and they will need it for sure if they want to perform the orbital refueling test
Hmm.
around beginning of June, or sorry, beginning of summer. So, for example, in June, or even in July, because otherwise they just roasted. So maybe I wouldn't say that um, they can lost the entire 2026, because that would be a bit pessimistic thought. But if they can't launch anything in the first quarter of 2026, it will be a quite hard time for them. And again, the NASA guys won't be happy either, because yeah, they they are watching quite how to say um, quite
Eagerly. Yeah.
eagerly, and maybe not so optimistic as previously, how the Starship processes are moving um, towards to the goal, or a bit backwards. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's these are quite hard times for the SpaceX.
People, make no mistakes. I think they will get there and they will sort it out. And this rocket will be ready at some point. It's just the
Hopefully.
problem is that question the time is a big question, because
Yeah.
at the moment they are in a mega race with China, and yeah, and to be honest, there are some people who are extremely happy for this. We're gonna cover that when we're gonna talk about Blue Origin, because apparently Blue Origin just rose from its ashes, while they never fell into an ash, because for that you need to rise first, but they never have risen before. But at least it seems like Blue Origin is gathering pace, so they definitely are not happy for the mistakes, but uh, you know they can make a good use of it, to be honest. Um, okay, before we move on, I got a few photos I'd like to share with you. So this is from RGB aerial photography from above. And tell me, what are those spots on the top? Would you
Sorry, I
like
just
to?
yeah, yeah,
What's in the chat?
I just read a quite funny comment that
Say it.
why not just use them? I mean COPV for FTS. Yeah, they blew up quite nice.
Indeed. And they do a
Okay,
good
but
job.
yeah, that's all, also, of course, only a joke. So yeah,
Yeah.
there is a nice and interesting pattern on the top of the booster, and it's asymmetric, as you can see on, of these colors. So that's because of the staging, the hot staging process. Of course, it's not symmetric. So after the booster is separated from the ship, it turns right in couple of milliseconds after the staging, and that's why it's not symmetric, because it has a turning direction. And yeah, SpaceX had the data from the previous launches, and that's why um, they they figured out how to save the top of the booster, because it's, as you all know, it's not anymore a separated hot staging ring, which is detachable, but that's actually the top of the methane tank. And of course, there is one more shield, if I can say that, one more shield on the top of the methane tank, but it's not so uh, strong, and that's why they had to figure out somehow how to save the whole booster after the stage separation, and maybe that will do the trick.
Yeah. So that's some sort of reinforcement, an
Yeah,
extra
that's a reinforcement. Yeah.
an extra protection on top of the booster.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, definitely it's gonna be nice to see it in action. And also, yeah, so we can we can gladly say
Hmm.
farewell to Pad 1. Can we have a clear camera angle on Pad 1, Jonathan, please? He's at the background, and can we just have the Pad 1 only? Thank you. Now you can see that there's nothing to see anymore.
You can see that you don't see. Yeah, so pad one is gone,
Yeah, Pad 1 is gone. Within
but
what, 1 week?
around 2 weeks it was okay. It depends from which point we we focus on. So um,
Uh,
if we
v- Very shortly, it
yeah,
was gone.
so
Yeah.
first they just cut it in pieces, the ring section, and after it was done, they could move to the legs, and after each other they were just deconstruct, or how to say, not damaged, but demolished.
Demolished.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So but that was the easier part, because now comes the digging section, or the digging part, which will be much difficult,
Just
much more difficult. Yeah.
just don't forget your word. We got a video about it.
Oh,
Let me
yes.
just share it with you, Jonathan. I
Mm-hmm.
hope it works, Jonathan. You can see the right screen, and then we can just pull it in. And I hope I'm sharing the right one. Yeah, there we go. So this is.
Yeah, that was the first part when the ring
Mhm.
was cut, and after the ring, the legs came. So yeah, they used these what kind of hammer?
I think it's a sledgehammer. I
Sledgehammer. Yeah.
think,
So,
but you were mentioning jackhammer. I don't know,
but
guys.
maybe
Tell us in
that's
the
a
chat what's the
mm,
right. Um.
maybe the jackhammer is it's a hand tool, and
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
this excavator, they use a different word. I'm not that expert in these topics, so bear with me again. So after each leg, they were demolished, and yeah, again, that was the easier part, because as you can see, the bottom part is still there, so they have to dig it somehow out from floor, and they have to cut the concrete around it, and they have to remove all of the cables, all of the plumbing, everything. So electric parts of the under the concrete layers. So that will be the more difficult part. But anyway, they are in a good pace to in the deconstruction and reconstruction, and the other thing that they have also cut the one of the chopstick arm as well in half. So I don't know why they haven't continued it with the other arm, but one of the arm is already
They
shortened.
have their reasons.
Yeah.
Can we have back the live camera, please? Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, sorry.
So yeah, pad one is gone. I at least what the most part of it or the biggest part of it, and yeah, I don't know what anything to add.
What else to add? Yeah, to it. Okay, and I think one more thing that we need to talk about is the chopstick, the quick disconnect arm on pad 2.
Yeah, so that was one of the last biggest part of the construction of the pad 2, so the new pad. And
Sorry, I'm keep on interrupting you. I'm just trying to direct the show. Jonathan, if you can show on a live camera probably the quick disconnects. Sorry. Yeah, and I shut up. Yeah, go for it, David.
okay, so yeah, the ship quick disconnect arm was attached to the tower, which was one of the last bigger task of the in terms of the construction of the new pad and other different not instruments but infrastructure. And yeah, it was quite a long time back at the Sanchez site where this quite big part of the arm was prepared, and you can see all of the not all of the but many of the plumbings and other structural elements what was already attached, because it was much easier to do everything on the floor instead of doing after the installation or yeah, after the installation on the tower. So um, yeah, it's on the tower already, and it's a good thing. So as we can see currently at the live camera, the big crane was already detached from the arm, which means the tower holds it already.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, it's getting there. We just need a rocket right now.
Yeah,
Damn
good
it.
question. When will be the
Unreal.
first booster there?
Unbelievable. Okay, and I will start the segue towards our second topic. So, if we can show a photo, this is sort of a set of rockets that you can see. And in the meantime, thank you, chat, for educating us what a sledgehammer and a jackhammer is. So, this was a jackhammer. Now we know that. We learned something today, and hopefully, we both learning from each other. So thank you. Keep us informed. If we say something wrong, as you can hear, this is not our mother tongue, so we are more than delighted to learn from you. So you can see a whole bunch of rockets in here, and our focus will narrow down to this particular one. Well, maybe not zooming in; it's not that good quality. So the New Glenn, and you can see it's pretty much as tall as the SLS, um, and slightly shorter than N1 and Saturn V, but probably that's not going to remain like this for too long, because New Glenn is about to become much more than this. Oh, that sounded very radio-esque. Um, so,
Yeah, it will be pumped up.
exactly. Blue Origin surprised us with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so Blue Origin had a quite big announcement last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are already about to improve the New Glenn, or a new way how to go further with the New Glenn structure. So they call it as the New Glenn 9.4, which means the numbers of the each of the stage engines. So as you all know, or hopefully know, currently the booster has 7 engines, and the second stage or the upper stage has two. This new Glenn will have 9 engines, so like Falcon 9, for example, or there are some other Chinese rockets. They have also these Octaweb um, situation with the 9 engines, so that will be the new booster. How will it look like? And the second stage will have 4 engines instead of 2, so it will be a quite massive second stage. It's already quite massive, but it will be more massive. So, and of course that means it I mean the rocket requires or needs longer tanks, and that's why if we are turning back to our attention to the previous diagram where the rockets were, that's why the New Glenn 9.4 will be about the same height, or almost the same height like the Starship. So it will be around 120 meters, but as far as I know, New Glenn didn't give any numbers in terms of the height. But it's quite interesting because they are planning to introduce this new rocket already in 2027. So just almost just a bit more than 1 year. So it means they haven't started this process in the last couple of weeks, but they've planned it previously. But I guess they had to have the right datas, and they could collect some very good data after the second mission. So that's a new illustration about the second stage. And
so just to give you a reminder,
okay.
this is how it looks like right now. So it has two BE3U engine, if I'm correct.
BE3U, yes.
Yeah. And then and it's already the largest upper stage yet since the Apollo era. This is gigantic, and right now this is what they propose with the 4 engine. And if I go back to this photo, I mean, you can see how, no, not yet, right now, you can see how large the fairing is going to be on this one. I mean, this is going to be, I think, 7 meters tall. Or it's already 7 meters? No, it's going to be larger.
No, it will be 8.7 meters, but that's the diameter. So you can see it's a bit wider than the hole. So because it remains 7 meters, I mean the diameter of the whole rocket, but the fairing will be 8.7 meters, and which means they can put in a much larger payloads as well. Of course,
much larger than the Starship can carry. Probably. That's what Scott Manley was talking about in this video. Yeah.
Maybe
apparently because it's an empty space, and because of the structural reinforcement of the Starship payload bay, it's gonna carry chunkier stuff most likely than.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting. However, the Starship will have much bigger capacity. I mean, it can launch heavier payloads. Maybe the New Glenn 9.4 can have bigger payloads. Yeah, because of the bigger volume of the payload bay. So it's quite interesting. And on the other hand, what wanted to say? Again, the aft section of the booster will be around 11 meters in diameter, because currently the New Glenn has wider diameter because it's not 7 meters as the structure upon it, but instead of 7 meters, it will have around 11 meters diameter aft section where the engines are actually. So what else? And again, one more very important thing, that the fairing will be reusable, like in case of the Falcon 9, which they can save a quite big money. So, and yeah, once we were at the engine section, they want to introduce a more powerful B4, I mean first stage engine already at on the next mission. So the NG3 mission, which will be hopefully the Blue Moon Pathfinder mission to the moon. Hopefully in beginning of January next year. So around, let's say, 1.5 months or maybe 2 months. I don't know, but anyway, they plan to use already these powered up B4s already on the next mission. So
Uh, just to cut you off for a bit, uh,
okay,
did you hear that how they try to beef up the B force?
no,
So they are trying to use now. Okay, grab your chairs. Okay, the armchair, the arms of your chairs. They're gonna use subcooled cryogenic
oh yeah,
fuel.
yeah, really, yeah, yeah, because again, we are not experts, but the more um, the more subcooled are the fuel or is the fuel, the more efficient it is. So they can have more thrust from the engine. And that's why, for example, SpaceX subcools also the methane and the oxygen on a pretty low temperature, and maybe and not maybe that, but they can have more performance from the engines like that. So yeah, Blue Origin uses the same way, but why not? If it's efficient, then they can use it. So it's not a
Hmm.
secret.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe there is a some copy of the SpaceX, but again, it's an all-time debate.
I don't
What's
think it's. I don't think. I don't
what's
think it's a.
a copy or what's not?
I don't think it's a copy. I mean, there's no secret about that. That
Yeah,
if you use cryogenic fuel, then it's more
yeah.
denser and it has more benefits. I wonder, though, that can they store it for that long as they do right now?
Mm-hmm.
Because they did not use yet that cryogenic fuel, just like SpaceX, and uh, and they could store it what like for like two, three,
2 hours,
4 hours?
two
Yeah,
hours.
2 hours. No, but
Yeah.
when it
So
get delayed, hold on. They finished the fueling 2 hours before the planned launch window, and the launch window was 1 hour.
right. No,
So
it
they
was two
were
hours. So the launch window was 2 hours. So that means they can hold
2 hours.
four.
Sorry, 4 hours then.
Yeah, 4 hours.
Yeah, indeed.
They can hold
Hmm.
totally fueled rocket on the launch pad.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's a quite interesting question how it will be reduced if it will be reused. But yeah, thinking about the very low temperature subcooled fuel, maybe they lose some time. But even if they can just, for example, they can have the fully fueled rocket for 2 hours on the pad, then it's still much more compared to the Starship. And if we are thinking about the Falcon 9, it has to just it has to be just launched right after the fully fueled situation.
Hmm.
Anyway, then it has to be scrubbed. I mean, the launch if the Falcon 9 can't be launched at the right time. So yeah,
Interesting
and
times for sure. Yeah.
yeah, and one thing to add that with this improvement of the engines, also the ULA, so the Unity Launch Alliance wins because they use the same engine on the Vulcan rocket,
Oh yeah.
first stage of the
Hmm.
Vulcan rocket. So um, yeah, that's a win situation for them as well. So that was one of the quite big announcement of the Blue Origin, and the other one it's what you can see on the screen right now. That's the Blue Moon Mark One Pathfinder. As I mentioned, the next mission should cover this launch. I mean, and that's quite interesting that maybe the Blue Origin will launch or attempt to land on the moon faster or earlier than SpaceX. And I know it's only a Pathfinder, so it will be a test mission. So, but anyway, it will be a quite big performance from Blue Origin, who were nowhere couple of months ago, or they were just a bit very at the beginning of the different development phases of the different infrastructures and spacecrafts and rockets, of course. So and they just arrived finally where they was supposed to be already a couple of years ago. So yeah, again. And a quite big cheer up for Dave Limp, for the CEO of the Blue Origin, because he turned, or he just uh, how to say, he drove the Blue Origin on the right way, because Bob Smith, who was the previous CEO, he wasn't the best CEO, if I can say that. So that time, nothing went too well around Blue Origin, and since Dave Limp just taken the drive, or the lead, better to say, everything just changed, and the processes changed, of course, and the plans are here, because if there is no plan, then they can't just follow anything. So yeah, it's the Blue Origin has good time currently, and compared to SpaceX now, it makes much more interesting the whole situation, and competition between the two big American rocket company.
Yeah, we got this on our channel and our sort of social media as well. That a lot of people saying that is Blue Origin taking over SpaceX. Is it doing better? Is it now the number one company? We don't think so. Obviously, the numbers are still way more on the SpaceX side. They just surpassed the 150th
Yeah.
launch this year, which is an incredible number. And so seeing what's going on today, they definitely nowhere near SpaceX. But seeing that how many things they sort of revealed lately,
Hmm.
let's just say that they were cooking some stuff in the kitchen, but they were not talking about it. And they were holding it back. They were waiting. They were working on a couple of stuffs, and I'm not entirely sure that was planned. This was planned all along. That they just gonna flood all these new, I don't know, announcements on us, or it just happened that certain stuff just culminated almost at the same time. But the new rocket, and then they have a shielding that they are planning to use for for second stages. We can
Hmm.
cover that a little bit.
Yeah.
David gonna talk about it in a second. The MK1 version, which we covered in the previous shows, you can rewatch. Also, the larger the nine by four rocket version. This kind of stuff is completely like they have the momentum and it's a good
Hmm.
stuff. We
Yeah.
need to highlight that this is a very good stuff. America needs this right now, and it's very nice to see very nice to see that America just widened its capability with a very capable rocket. This is a very good render, I really like. So now three rocket types that has first stages to land. But a couple of things I need to highlight. So first of all is that from these three, only the middle one, only Starship is going to be the one that is going to have a reusable second stage and can land
Hmm.
propulsively. It's a very important, I think, factor that will elevate Starship above everybody else. Again, if they're gonna find the pace. Second, I think very important to highlight that SLS, well, they can. they can bury it, to be fair. Once New Glenn, even especially the larger one, but even with this one, if it's gonna fly frequently, I think the Congress really need to think hard what to do with SLS, because at the moment the only advantage of SLS is that it's ready, and now it seems like New Glenn is ready. If they can beef it up a little bit, mm, not sure what need the SLS we have or they have.
Yeah, and if you think about again the payload capacity, the 9.4 New Glenn will have about 70 metric tons capacity to low Earth orbit and about 20 metric tons to translunar injection trajectory. So it's a quite a big number.
Yeah.
And again with the reusable first stage. So that's the point, because as you all know, SLS is not a reusable rocket. However, it costs about just about $2 billion, so it's not a big amount. So, and I don't want to laugh it up, but yeah, it's a totally waste of money. So, yeah, so it's a quite ambitious plan, and again, and just one thing to add that this 9.4 won't replace the current version of the 7.2, so the current version of the New Glenn, but it will add a more more chance or more how I don't know the word. Help me, Sabi, out. So the
I don't know
partners
what you
have
want to say. Sorry.
me neither. So the partners will have more chance to change for different types of rockets or different version of rockets to have the correct one for their payloads.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. With the sheet shield, the problem is that we are working on overcoming playing videos in a nice way. At the moment, it's a little bit choppy, so that's why I don't want to play it for you. But let's just talk a little bit about this heat shield that they are proposing, because that's a good stuff. Although somebody just said it in the chat that probably that way they will be able to land or reuse the second stage, although I don't know how yet. I don't know if there are any plans for that, because that's just one thing that it can re-enter in one piece, but what how is it gonna splash? Is it with shoots or and Scott Manley at the same time is talking about, okay, let me just put this video and I will finish it, but I'll let you talk about the heat shield.
So we are waiting for the video first.
No, go for it.
So you mean this our aero brake, right?
Yes.
So it's actually for a different spacecraft, so it's not for the second stage itself. So
Okay.
it's a full-scale deployable aero brake for different spacecrafts which are directing either the Mars or different other objects which have some aeroshells. So that's, for example, it's not deployable for the moon because there is no atmosphere, of course, as we all know. So it will be good and it will be helpful, for example, for Mars landings or Venus landings or anything which has atmosphere. So, but again, it's a full-scale deployable aero brake, which is the most important thing, that it can be wrapped up during the launch, and it will be deployable when it's needed. So they can save a significant mass and cost with this deployable aero brake, even for heavy cargo missions. So it has a quite lighter and we don't know exact the material which is made of. But anyway, it's easily configurable, so they can use for different vehicles or different spacecrafts or different payloads which want to land on any objects or planets or so. So yeah, and it came from nowhere. So we haven't heard about it before. So it's a brand new stuff,
Hmm.
and yeah, maybe we can skip the blue ring
Hmm.
because either we don't have much time left, and on the other hand, we don't know anything too much about it. But they are in the development phase already of it.
But
For example, the DoD missions.
it's definitely gonna be a capable stuff as well.
Hmm.
It's like an adapter with
Yeah.
maneuvering capabilities,
Hmm.
as you can see with heat shield. Sorry, with solar panels,
Yeah.
and it's like a platform that they can use for a
Hmm.
lot of purposes. There are some plans that they're gonna use some. I think according to the video, they can send it around Mars, and they just gonna image the surface or track the surface or somehow detect the surface and collect some data about Mars surface. Yeah, a whole variety of stuff Blue
Yeah.
Origin has started. Very interesting. I think it's a good surprise. We want this kind of good surprises in the future, and moon landing is upon us. I mean, this is this is very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
so plan is one thing, the the performance the other thing, but yeah,
they are
ju-
delivering right now,
yeah,
finally.
delivery right now. Yeah.
Hmm. Indeed. Maybe just two words about
Yeah.
the Chinese topic because the
Yeah.
Shenzhou 22 spacecraft will be launched on the 25th of
Yeah,
November.
tomorrow
Hmm.
in the morning.
Awesome.
So yeah, we have covered this topic already last week, so I don't want to go into the details pretty much. But the main thing that the Shenzhou 21 crew will have a lifeboat finally. However, the Chinese media or the Chinese management stated that they could launch in about 8.5, so almost 9 days, a new rocket with a new Shenzhou spacecraft if it was needed, and it's now needed, but it wasn't 8.5 days, but almost 2 weeks or around that. So anyway, the main point that it will be launched, of course, without any crew. So an empty spacecraft, the Shenzhou 22 will be launched tomorrow 4:11 UTC. And with that, again, the Shenzhou 21 crew will have a lifeboat because currently, if there is some pretty big problem on the Tiangong space station, they couldn't leave it because there is no manned spacecraft there.
Hmm.
So yeah, maybe
No
they will be.
lifeboat.
Yeah, there is no lifeboat currently, but tomorrow hopefully it will be changed. So yeah, it's a good point that China could do this. I wouldn't say life-saving mission, but yeah, it's quite necessary.
Yes. And well, to end the show, I will show you something very interesting,
Oh,
and
our
then we will say goodbye. So
famous
this is
topic.
the Three Eye Atlas. There is an amazing way to track it on NASA. NASA released this sort of very interactive surface, and there's a slider down here at the bottom, and you can actually go with the time, you can actually look back as it was entering the solar system, and now you can go to the other way and you can play with it. It's very cool. I think this is genuinely gonna be the coolest bit when it will just go very near the Jovian system, and yeah, you can see you can play around with this. Yeah, it's on NASA. Definitely play around with this because you can see now what trajectory the Three Eye Atlas comet before anybody thinks other way. So Three Eye Atlas comet, which we know now
It's
it's
an
a
alien
comet.
spacecraft.
Yes. So definitely play around with this because it's a cool tool. And yeah, I recommend you to do that. All right. I think there is nothing else to add for today's show. Thank you very much for staying with us. And I hope you gained something from it and you heard something new from us. We will be back next week, hopefully with better news. I mean, nothing groundbreaking gonna happen, or I don't know, I should say hopefully nothing groundbreaking going to happen with Starship and other stuff, but we will definitely be back. Yeah.
Yes. Well
Yes.
said.
All right. Okay. See you next week. Up until then, Tuesdays and Fridays, we are not we. Felix is bringing you the usual episodes, so definitely stay tuned for those. And 24/7 live feed with 3 cameras right now, as you can see on the screen. So bookmark that one as well. And of course, a like, a subscribe can go a long way. And if you can support the channel, please do so. These episodes can be rewatched anytime on What About It Plus. That's a second channel you can subscribe to. So anytime you can watch us again, these shows that we've done in the past. Up until then, up until next Monday, have a lovely week and we will be back next week as well. Take care. Have a good day. See you guys.
Bye bye. Have a good week.